Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are keeping well. My name is Dan and today we're looking at one of the latest series to drop onto Netflix, The Haunting of Bly Manor. After an au pair's tragic death, Henry hires a young American nanny to care for his orphaned niece and nephew, who reside at Bly Manor, with Chef Owen, groundskeeper Jamie, and housekeeper Mrs. Gross. That is a basic synopsis and plot of this story, and it was pretty interesting. So The Haunting of Bly Manor is, I guess, the second season in the Haunting anthology series that has been established onto Netflix. Mike Flanagan adapted The Haunting of Hill House, which came out a couple of years ago, and that was the first in this Haunting anthology series. And The Haunting of Bly Manor is the second, and it was adapted from the book Turn of the Screw, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be honest, I was extremely excited for The Haunting of Bly Manor. The Haunting of Hill House is one of my favorite series on Netflix ever. It's up there, it's probably in my top 3 of my favorites. I absolutely loved it. Mark Flanagan is the person who directed and wrote the show. He has such an interesting perspective and interpretation of the horror genre. And it's not just scares, it's not just horror. There's more meaning behind it, and I love the way he does his horror. It's almost like as if the real horror is the things we hold on to, or the ghosts we have in our own life, are the things that haunt us, you know. So I love his whole perspective on horror, and I think The Haunting of Hill House was not only pretty damn scary, but it was also just really deep. It was a good drama series, and it did focus essentially on family and how families deal with grief, and I thought it was really impactful. So going into Bly Manor, I did really want to keep my expectations to a certain level because I kind of knew that it probably would not reach the level that The Haunting of Hill House did. And I'm kind of glad I did keep my expectations slightly lower because there were some issues I had with this season. Before we get into some of the things I didn't like, I do just also want to mention the cast, because some casts from The Haunting of Hill House return in The Haunting of Bly Manor, and they did an absolutely fantastic job. There were a few surprises as well, some cast members I didn't know were returning, so it was nice to see. And I really did think they portrayed these characters really well. They are completely different characters who are not associated with each other at all. So it's a completely different story, and the characters are not connected in any way, which is kind of refreshing. And it's nice seeing these actors tackle completely different characters. And then overall, just the look and the atmosphere and the cinematography and the music of The Haunting of Bly Manor was absolutely fantastic. At times the music is very similar to The Haunting of Hill House, that the same sort of resonant theme is played out through The Haunting of Bly Manor, which I kind of like. I would like seeing the music sort of connect these stories in a way. So I really liked the music once again in The Haunting of Bly Manor. I thought it was really excellent. Cinematography as well was so stunning. The show definitely has a certain look to it, and it's a very beautiful, simple look, but very beautiful. And I really did just love the atmosphere that the cinematography, the production design, and the music created throughout the show. I thought that was really great. So like The Haunting of Hill House, Mike Flanagan once again here doesn't just tell a typical ghost story. There's more things happening behind the scenes. There's a lot more depth that we slowly start to uncover as we watch more of the season. And that was once again really enticing and engaging, and I did enjoy that. The one issue I had with Bly Manor is, and I don't know if this was because Mike Flanagan did not direct all the episodes or not, but the pace of the season was not as concise as Hill House was. And again, I don't want to just compare to Hill House, because I know Hill House was so good. And I know a lot of shows will probably battle to reach that level of excellence, in my opinion. So the only reason I am kind of comparing them is because a similar, concept and team and cast even were involved in bringing Bly Manor to life. So I think some of the pacing wasn't great. There are a few episodes where they focus more on like backstory stuff, and although that's interesting, finding out about certain characters and certain past events, it does sort of slow down the trajectory of the show quite a lot. And what I mean by that is sometimes it feels like you're sort of at the edge of your seat, sort of anticipating something, and then all of a sudden it's telling backstory stuff, which is interesting to find out and learn about, but it sort of does slow down the pace of the show quite a bit. So that was one of the issues I had with the show. The other thing is, and although it's not like that much of an issue for me because I still really enjoyed the show. The show is definitely not scary in my opinion at all. I did not find the show scary in the slightest. There are a few background ghosts and stuff which appear here and there, and those are always fun to spot, but it's not necessarily scary. Going from Hill House, which was absolutely terrifying I thought at times, to something like Bly Manor, which was relatively chilled. I wasn't necessarily disappointed, but I guess I kind of was as well. I guess I was just kind of expecting a little bit more from this season. So above anything else, I would actually say that the show is a love story, not a ghost story, which was kind of interesting to uncover as you watched this season. It definitely surprised me. Wasn't as great as Hill House in my opinion, but I was still really engaged with it, and I really did care for a lot of these characters. There's some really, really great performances throughout the show as well. So overall, I did enjoy The Haunting of Bly Manor. Not as great as The Haunting of Hill House in my opinion, but I still did find a lot of enjoyment throughout the show. Did just wish that the pacing was a bit better, and it was a bit more concise at times. I did feel like certain things were dragged out a little bit, but there was still a lot of good things to get out from the show. Really great performances as well, and as I said, the production design, cinematography and music were all incredible as well. So I did enjoy it, and I do recommend checking it out. I'm going to give The Haunting of Bly Manor a 3.5 out of 5. I really do hope Netflix do another season in this Haunting anthology series that they've established. I'd be very curious to see what they do next. And I love how different both these seasons have been. There's a few things that sort of connect them, but overall it's very different, which is nice as well, and it was refreshing. So yeah, if you guys have seen The Haunting of Bly Manor, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you have not yet seen it and you have seen Haunting of Hill House, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there, and bye bye.